Okay, so it is now 1 o'clock on the West Coast, 4 o'clock on the East Coast, and 3 o'clock in lovely Bourbonnais, Illinois, where I am with one of my JV partners, Bill DeWeese, who is unable to be with us today downstairs because he's busy feverishly recording lots of great voiceover stuff for his clients. So he's unable to be on the call. And so we're going to go ahead and get things kicked off here. I'll give you some ideas about what I've been doing here that I think would be helpful for you to understand. First thing we did was Bill's issue, and we'll put under here issues. His issue was, and by the way, this is the weekly JV Partner webinar. We do these every week, same time, same channel. The big issue for Bill was he had a number of high-priced products, but few low-priced. No, I should say, no low-priced products. So one of the reasons why I was out here is to do a combination of things. And one of the things that we finished up just real recently, and I'm going to show that to you now, is this, which is I'm going to put another tab up here. Go to Amazon, and I want to show you the Kindle store here. And I'm going to show you Bill DeWeese, and I'll show you what we got here. It's not showing up first only because I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. It's actually on the second page here. I don't really know why yet, but here we go. Let's see here. Where is it? Did I show second page? Where is it? I cannot find it. Maybe it's back on the first page at the bottom now. Who knows? Let me check here. Okay, what I'm going to show you is that we were able to get, now you know what? It may be disabled because I made some changes to it. That kind of sucks. No, there it is. Perfect. It's already moved up. Actually, it's moved way up to number 3 in this list. So, how to start and build a 6-figure voiceover business. And here's what we did. By the way, if anybody's interested in this, or if you just want to go to Amazon and like it on Facebook, that's always fun to do. But here's what we did immediately. I got this up and running for him because I'm sitting here trying to get as much done as I can to help him move his business along. So first thing I did was, I concentrated on, we had the transcript, and then so after getting the transcript of the audio program we recorded, I then helped him set up a kdp.amazon.com account. We then formatted the ebook, which came out to about a little bit over 42,000 words, and that was from a 3.5 hours of audio. And so that was an interview style, and we've kept it in the interview style, as a matter of fact. And if we do a look inside here, let's just check this out, see if it'll show us any of this. I forget how much it gives us. So it gives us the first page here. Notice we have done this link so that we know where people are coming from. Published by Bill DeWeese and Fred. This is wrong. We've got to change this. That's I've got to make that just Bill DeWeese. So we've got everything here. So we did it in this interview style. If you notice, it's a Fred, then a Bill, and Fred, then Bill, back and forth. And so this is what we did to get the program up and running as quickly as possible. Now, we set the price point. Again, the formatting was done by my webmaster Stanley, which is basically putting it into Microsoft Word. It's fairly easy to do. And if you don't know about formatting, you can go listen to portions of the of a webinar I did with Joshua Talent, and he can help you with that. Joshua Talent. He's an expert on ebook formatting. You can check him out. So what we did was I sat here and I got the kdp.amazon account set up. I then had Stanley format the ebook. I then put it up on the site. We took the image that we have, which, by the way, this isn't a flat image, which I usually encourage. But that's all I had to work with for right now, so I put up that image, which I think works fairly well. And then what we did, which is interesting, is that Bill this morning, so then Bill sent out a promo to his list, which was this: buy the book and like it on Facebook and review it on Amazon, and you will get a 60-minute free webinar that you can attend in the near future and get all your questions answered about the book. So the idea was, for $4.99, we were giving people the ability to get this 60-minute free webinar as long as they both liked it on Facebook and reviewed it on Amazon. Now what's going to happen is, in order to attend this webinar, they're going to have to send us, so anyone who's interested and does this has to send us their Amazon receipt and show us they liked it on Facebook and reviewed it. Now, I don't know how strict we're going to be on that, but I'm pretty sure that most of the people actually do what they said they were going to do, which is that. So even if we get like 50% compliance, that's fine. So far today, I believe Bill told me we've had 8 orders. No big, huge rush for things yet. So we got 8 orders for the book, and it's not yet available. This is only the Kindle version, because the physical version is not yet done. Had some conversations with the cover book designer, who, by the way, is a great guy, and I think I've shared this with you guys. Steve, and let me see if I can find his website here, if it is available. I think it's Vector. Vector. So this is Steve's website, and you can contact him. He's at steve@vectyr.com, and he can give you pricing. He does a lot of this kind of stuff. So he's a great graphic designer, and he did a great job on the book. I can't show you the full cover because I don't think I have. Well, maybe I might be able to get it, but I don't think I can. Just because it's in my email and I'm in a different account here, et cetera, et cetera. But steve@vectyr.com did a great job both on the front cover and on the back cover. And so that's something that we're very, very happy about for Bill, because the book cover is now done. So both the front and the back cover are complete, except for the 4 testimonials. And we are getting them. You want to get testimonials from as high a profile source as you can. So Bill is good buddies with a guy who is an anchor on CBS affiliate in Las Vegas. Then he knows a very famous guy named Dave Fenoy, who is the Hulu guy. He does the voice for Hulu, probably one of the higher paid voiceover artists in the country. And then we also got a couple of other people here that are fairly high profile. We got 4 total testimonials to put on the back cover of the book. So now that when we get all those completed, the next step will be to send the testimonials to Steve, and he will add them, and he'll add them to the file. And this is important, because then the next step is, okay, so what follows after that? The next step after that is, after he's got that, he completes the book cover, which includes the front, the back, and the spine, and then we're ready to go. Now, the spine is dependent upon the length of the book in terms of pages and the thickness of the material, or the paper. Paper you're going to use to print the book. So that's what Steve needs to know. We're not sure of that yet, because we're not sure, and this is our little bit of a conundrum here. The nice thing about we're using Create Space, by the way, and so what I did this morning is I created an account for Bill while he was working on voiceovers. I was creating an account for him on Create Space, and I was, I've got him set up just with an account so that we can upload stuff. And so on CreateSpace, the beauty of it is right now, the book as it's currently done is in that interview style, which you saw, the Kindle version, which is me asking a question, him responding back and forth like that. But books aren't nearly as good that way as they are if you're done in the traditional book sense. So for now, for now, we will leave it as an interview book, if you will. But that may change, and we may put it into a traditional, format. Typical, regular book. And the person we do for that, we have a couple people, but we would hand that off to someone who would take the book in interview style and turn it into a regular sort of narrative book with just, one voice kind of talking. And that would be done. So I don't know how much it'll reduce the length of the book, but let's say it goes down to, let's say it stays the same, so around 40,000 words, and that might come out to, I don't know, maybe 135 pages, depending on type size. That's an about. So then Steve, knowing 135 pages, we would tell him we were doing standard 60-pound paper or whatever we used. He would then be able to determine spine width from that, and that's what he needs. Now, the other thing that I had to do, which again is important if you're doing all this yourself, and again, you may want to go back and refer to this webinar because we record all these and put them up on the site. The thing that you're going to have to do sort of simultaneously with all that is you need to get ISBN numbers. And I checked on, and I'll just show you what I found here. These have gone up substantially since I had them. When you click on isbn.org, which is not the place you're going to want to end up, but when you go there, if you say, do you need an ISBN number? Yes. Well, oh, no, that's why do I need one? I want to get one. How do I get one? It should send me to this other site, which is myidentifiers.com. If you see this up here, myidentifiers.com. And the price on the ISBNs, one is 125 bucks. That is a huge ripoff. But don't get these ISBN numbers from anyone other than Bowker, because then you're in charge. But if you look, if you intend on doing a lot of different works for $1,000, they turn out to be $1 a piece. At 100 bucks, they're $5.75 a piece. I mean, for 100 ISBNs, you get them for $5.75 a piece. If you get 10 of them, they're $25 a piece. You get one of them, it's 125 bucks. So I would suggest that as a minimum, you start with the 10 here, which is the 10 ISBNs for 250 bucks. So it's $25 a piece. Now you can put ISBN numbers on virtually anything that you're going to sell in a sort of public venue, whether it be Amazon or whatever. But that you could have a book, you could have, CDs, you have DVDs, the whole range of things. So I'm going to go with, he's going to go with 10 ISBN numbers for a total of $250. Now you're not done yet, because then after that, and I would not suggest you get this through Bowker, because I think that when I went down here, if you look at this, I went down here and clicked on log into purchase ISBN and barcodes. So when I clicked on get your barcode, look at this. This was like a ripoff. This was ridiculous. 25 bucks. That's high for barcodes. You don't need to pay that much. But I mean, if you wanted to keep it simple and buy it from the same place, you can go ahead and get it here, and I'm sure Bowker does a great job. But there are other places that will sell. They're even free services, but you probably want. I used to go to a place called Fotel. I haven't looked at them lately. Let me just see if they're still around. Fotel used to do my barcodes, and I think I remember paying last time like 12 bucks or something like that. But let's see. Let's see what Fotel is charging, because what we need to do is right now the book cover is being completed. We need the testimonials. Bill has to send Steve a good quality picture, and we're missing the barcode area. Is basically he just put my book in there as a placeholder, and so we're using, we got to use Bill stuff. And yeah, of course they can't find it. Why not? Huh? Maybe it's out of business. Who knows? Fotel. Let's see if they come up in a Google search. Fotel. Okay. Barcodes. Maybe it's Manta down. Nah, maybe it is. Maybe it's owned by these guys now. Okay, let's see. whatever. So there are a number of places. The way to do this is to go into barcodes. Just go to barcodes, barcodes for books, and you can find a bunch of different places that will sell you barcodes here. Images barcode, buy UPC barcodes for books, etc., etc. So you can find a bunch of places that will sell these. So if you're going to do this yourself, you're going to want to get the ISBN numbers. You're going to want to get barcodes for each book, because we have to put this on the outside, the back cover of the book, so that Amazon, can scan it in and they have a unique identifier. And like I've always said, that it's really important that you have ISBN numbers that you own yourself, because this is like your social security number for your book, for each of your books or other products. You can put this on the CDs or the DVDs. Each one will have a unique identifier. So that's what I've been doing here, helping Bill getting this stuff done, because obviously as a JV partner, if he makes money, I make money, and everybody's happy. And so I'm happy to do whatever I have to, because I see him slaving away, hour upon hour down in his basement little studio, recording lots and lots of audio material, because this year he's going to do $250,000 worth of voiceover work. So hopefully we'll get it so that next year he can make, quite a bit of money from selling info products, and he's on his way to doing that. But so getting back to Bill, let me just get rid of a bunch of this here so we can just start at the top. I'm going to talk to you about my new JV partner here, but in a second. But I just wanted to go over this. So Kindle we did first because it's quick and easy, and I would encourage you to do that. And then the physical, and again, that's with kdp.amazon.com. And then the physical book, the physical book, we're doing through CreateSpace, and I used Steve at vector.com to do the cover design, and I'm very happy with the quality of work that he does and the pricing. He's very fair. He charges by the hour. It's not a flat fee. Highly recommend him if you're doing any kind of graphic design work. He's a good guy. Tell him I sent you. He's cool, and it does not overcharge. So that will get the physical book out. Now the other thing, the reason why we did this, since he had no low-priced products, this immediately created a product at $4.99, as well as when it's done, and this is what we're going to have to do, we're probably going to charge $19.99 for the physical book, just because we can. And the way that we're doing, and I don't know if it'll be $19.99 or maybe it'll be $14.99, whatever it is. It'll be between $14.99 and $19.99, somewhere in that neighborhood. But we're not really as concerned about the money we make on the book. This is for the Kindle version, and the physical version is higher. We're not concerned about really making money off the book, either the Kindle or the physical book. What we're concerned about is bouncing people back to the website to buy more expensive stuff. That is the goal. That's what we're trying to do here. So we're creating these. Now also it's pretty cool, because when Bill has a book, and somebody says, he says, hey, how can, I'd like to speak at your seminar. They say, well, why should we let you speak? They say, well, you want me to send you a copy of my book? And it's going to be a good looking book, and it's going to have, great information in there. And so his ability to use that as his front end product is what we're trying to do here, is to create a front end product for Bill, because right now the cheapest thing I think you could buy from him was $147. So now, and we also, while I was here, we recorded another product on how to create a demo. And for people who are in the voice business, they get booked by having basically a trailer that sort of displays their abilities and their work in audio form. And how to create a demo is all about, showing voiceover artists how to put together a great demo. So what I did is I created a list of questions. I asked them to bill, and this is going to come out to total around 60 minutes in total. So now the question is, what do we charge for this? Initially going into that, I said to myself, oh, we'll probably charge around $47. After it was done, and so it was only 60 minutes, I said, Bill, this is really probably, so we're going to price it somewhere between $17 to, somewhere around $27, right in there, in that range. So as you see, we're developing a nice product funnel here which starts with the Kindle version and then goes to the physical version. Let's say let's just make it easy and make it look good here. That's the physical book. And then we go to this demo audio program, and let's say we price that at $27 or let's just put in the range here, $17 to $27. And you see quickly we are developing a product funnel that's fairly deep and starts low. What we already have is we have a product at $147. He has a product at $247. He does seminars, and he goes, his funnel goes all the way up to $10,000 for 3 days with Bill one-on-one. So what we're trying to do is to fill in. I thought there wasn't enough material. So if I were to just start, and what I suggest you do is think about price points, start with those. I want to put a price point at 47, I need one at 77, I need one at 97, and then go back and figure out, well, what can we put in there? We have something at 17 to 27, we have something at under 20 bucks, we have something at under $5. So I'm thinking we need something here. The question is, what is it? And that's what we're going to want to, I'm going to want to help Bill create over the next few months, is other products. And we already, this exists, so we don't need to create those, and this exists as well, so we're not really worried about this. So I'm thinking price points first and products next. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is thinking of price points first, products next, and helping Bill fill in this entire list, because the goal is to get the people who, again, buy either the Kindle version or the physical version to bounce back, get their name, get them on the email list, and upsell them to these different products and services at the higher and higher price points. So it's a fairly traditional information marketing model, and I'm just helping Bill do this. And up until this point, he has now about, I think I've showed you before, if you've been on these webinars, I showed you his YouTube channel. He now has about 1,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel. Now, the nice thing is that out of those 100 subscribers, less than 10% have bought anything because prices were relatively high. So what we're hoping to do is to get a bunch of the people who are on his list, and he has he's got an email list through Web Marketing Magic, email list through WMM, I call it, and he's also got his YouTube channel where he can get in touch with people and let them know what's going on as well. So what does that mean for you? That means for you that you should be creating products at all these different price points. You should be setting up a YouTube channel. You should have a Web Marketing Magic account and be getting people's email addresses. And you should just be basically following the same system. This is how you do it. So it's not really all that complicated. And now, Bill, like I said, from voiceover work this year, and by the way, another thing I'm doing is his lovely assistant, who is his daughter, Mallory. Mallory is going to be taking, and what I told her is that every day they get a lot of checks in because they do a lot of invoicing. So, I mean, literally there are checks coming in the mail almost every day. So I told her to scan. They got a new scanner that just came in actually last night, or was it? I just set it up for them. So the scanner to take checks and make scans available. And so what I want to do is I want to have Mallory every week take, and there's certainly more than this, 2 to 3 checks weekly, and scan them in and put them on the website. I don't know what I'm going to call that category. Put them on the site. So what's going to happen is I want to prove to people that Bill is not full of baloney, that he really is making, and this year it's going to come out to just around, maybe a little bit under. I think, it's somewhere between 245 and 250,000 doing voice work. And this puts him in the top, probably 0.5%, but definitely the top 1% of all voiceover artists. And so what I want you to take from this is that if you're doing any kind of business, whatever, in which you're claiming to show people how to do something, you've got to show them some proof. And in this case, what I want to get, I told Mallory that I want to get to the point where people are going to go to wherever and maybe it'll say, you know, here, maybe we'll put Bill's money or Bill's income. And you click on there, and I want people to be able to scroll down like for pages and have page after page after page of the date and the checks with obviously things marked out. But I want to show people an ungodly amount of checks that are coming in because if we're claiming $250,000, I want to prove it to people with the scans of those checks, and that's what's going to happen here to make this work. Because I want to see, I want to make sure that everybody realizes that we're not making up these figures, that these really are. And at one point I thought maybe we put in all the checks, and Mallory was actually saying, which I think is a good idea, to put the 1099s up as well. And so as soon as they come in from this year, next year, sometime before January 31st, we want to put those up as well, and that will show, and there'll be lots of them because he does a lot of work for a lot of different companies, and he's doing voice work all the time. And I mean, literally, I've watched him do this while I've been here, and he's just like constantly getting orders. So my goal was to try and get him going with all this. So now our next thing that we're doing, and again, please feel free to borrow from what I'm doing here, is I decided that we needed something in this range, right? So one of the things that I came up with is I said, Bill, we need to get the 100 biggest questions that aspiring voiceover artists want to know. And so what we did is we got his list to send their questions. So the list sent questions, and then I added to them. And I also so basically we're shooting for 3 to 5 minute answers to each of the 100 questions. I'll call it Q's. So what's going to happen, and I think I told you this last time, is we're looking, this is going to be about 8 hours of material, 8 hours of video. But then I wanted to divide it up into the top 10 questions and charge a separate fee for that. Maybe that's $27. And then for, the top, 50, and maybe this might get ridiculous, but we charge, 47, and then for the 100, we go for $77 or something like that. What I'm trying to do is fill in these price points here because we've got all this other stuff in here filled out. So the 100 biggest questions ideas, and of course, be thinking about the stuff before you do it, because I made sort of a big mistake, which is I thought, Bill said to me, I only have one camera, and if we're going to be doing an interview, we need to have 2 cameras. And so I ordered a camera for here, and I thought to myself, why do we, this is ridiculous. People do not need, and this is where you really got to get your ego out of the way of stuff. Why do I need to be on camera interviewing Bill? I said to him, forget it. What we're going to do is we're going to have one camera on you sitting in front of a whiteboard, and I will ask you the questions from off camera, or even better, you can just say, and here's a question from Jim Smith from Peoria, Illinois, and Jim asks blah, 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 and then answer the question. And if you need to use the whiteboard to illustrate, do that, and we'll just videotape those as individual separate, videos and segments. Then what's going to happen is when those are all recorded. So now let's assume we have all the 100 questions. And by the way, he's got so much work going on. My goal was to leave here with all that done. I may not be able to leave here with that done, but let's say he's got 100 questions done, okay, in video form, and they're all ready to go. So now my webmaster Stanley, since Bill is working with me, we use Stanley together on this. So Stanley is setting up pages that will sit on voice-over-training.org, and it'll sit there and it will display either the 10 questions or the 50 or the 100, or however we break these up. And so this is set up using a membership site software, which anybody who has, who bought these 10 questions for $27, they'll be able to access only those 10 videos. If they bought this, they'll be able to access this and that, and if they bought the 100, they get them all, or something like that. But I'm going to set up 3 tiers I think, of the videos, because again, I'm looking at my price points. I need price points down here, like we said, $47 to $97. So why not take the 100 questions and divide them up in such a way as to allow me to create multiple price points? I like the idea of maybe going 97 for the 100, 77 for the 50, and 47 or 27 for the top 10 to make it much more attractive for them to buy the more expensive ones, or the more questions. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and I hope that that whole description has been helpful to you. And before I open it up for questions, which I will here shortly, I have a new partner. His name is Gil Phelan. Gil is in the business of, and I don't know if Gil is on the, let me see if he's with us. Let me see if he's on the list here. I do not see him. He may not have been able to get here. But Gil is in the business, and this is a pretty cool thing. And a lot of people, by the way, happy end of the election season. Aren't you glad all of that is over? My God, wasn't that just mind-numbing for a period of time? You'll actually be able to watch TV now without being interrupted by ads. Ugh, sick of it. So anyway, so here's what we got. Gil Phelan is in the business of, he's lived in Costa Rica for the last 10 years. So he's in Costa Rica, and he is an expert. He's an American. He's lived there. And he's an expert. He specifically is an expert on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica. And by the way, for those of you who are interested, because I immediately did this, I went to maps.google.com, and he's in an area called Limon, Costa Rica, or he's near Limon. I'll show you where this is. And so if you look at it, there's Limon down there, but this is where he's in Siquiris, which is, so he's on the Caribbean side. Now, I was in Costa Rica myself, and I was over in this area, somewhere in here on the coast, on the opposite coast. But he has developed for 10 years an expertise on showing foreigners of, both Americans, Europeans, any kind of foreigner, how to buy and invest in property in Costa Rica. So it's kind of nice. I asked him, I said, well, I want to do my next JV partner meeting in Costa Rica. He said, come on down. So that's a big possibility. We're going to be taking a group of people down there to his area. And so what's happening here is he is, developed all of this knowledge and expertise, which Costa Rica is in great demand because it's very politically stable. And now, of course, there'll be a certain number of people. I don't know if you remember it, who was it? Was it Alec Baldwin that threatened to leave the country if Bush got reelected before, and then he never did? But so I'm sure there are people who are threatening to leave the country because Obama got reelected. And so chances are that Costa Rica might be one of the places where they consider. And so Gil told me actually in an email this morning, he said, regardless of what I think about the election results, I'm excited from a business standpoint because there'll be plenty of people who are going to want to flee the United States, he says. And so when they flee the United States, they're going to want to check out Costa Rica because it's politically stable, it's inexpensive, it's a great place to live. And I've been there, and he's right. All those things are true. So Gil is my newest JV partner, and my goal with him is to try and help him generate as much traffic to his site as possible, thus allowing him to, he has a development, which if you want information, we've got it here. He had 43 units left in the last phase. He now has sold 7 or 8 of them. He's got 35 units left, and he sells both the land, and then he will put a house on there for you as well. And so the question, of course, is what's the price point? And the lot, I think, is running about, what was the lot? Running around $70,000. So for something like under $300,000, you could get this place in paradise, and you'd be set. Not a mansion, but you'd get a place in paradise. So that's his deal, and that's what he's doing. And so he's the newest JV partner that I'm working with to help him do that. And hopefully, as a result of this, I will eventually, hopefully, I will own a property down in Costa Rica as a result of my efforts with him. But that is all in the future, yet to be seen, depending on the, how much business that we generate. Let's see if that happens or not. So that's the goal. So now, what I'd like to do, since we have no other JV partners on the line, is now is a good time to open it up to questions. And I see that Pam had a question. Can you share this webinar with your mastermind group? Absolutely, yeah. They can come. They can either watch it live and in person, send them the link. You can also let them watch the replay. So Pam, that's perfectly acceptable. So Pam, thanks for that question. Anybody else have any questions? Now is the time to answer. Go to your question box in the GoToWebinar control panel and put in a question about anything, and there's a lot of information we've covered there, and I'll be happy to answer it because, again, all the JV partners are busy working. I'm the one that's available so that I'm here for any questions that you have on anything we've covered, the Kindle book, the physical book, the creating products at different price points. What do you need answered? I will be happy to answer those questions. So now don't let me off easy here. I need questions from you. Any questions on anything that I've covered thus far in the webinar is fair game. So try and keep them on that topic. Anything that I've covered that you want some additional information on, that you'd like some feedback on, anything at all. Remember, people are actually paying me a lot of money for individual consultations. So here's a chance for you to get this information for free. Please do. So what would you like to learn about anything that I've covered here? And unless I'm crazy, I don't see any questions. So what's going on here, guys? Please feel free to ask anything. Mitch, that includes you. You have any questions, Mitch? Let's see if I can stimulate at least Mitch Axelrod to ask me a question so I don't feel like I'm here talking to myself. Let's see. While I'm waiting for people to deluge me with questions, given I've had none thus far since making the request, let me see. Oh, there, Doc. Okay, thanks, Doc. Are you linking each level of products? Do you mean linking them to each other? The answer is yes. In other words, so Doc is asking whether or not when people buy product A, do we then try and trade them up to or link to product B, product C? The answer is yes. I mean, what we're trying to do is get people through the front door, get them to buy whatever product level they're comfortable with. Most people are would not have a problem parting with $4.99. So it's funny though, because some people will part with $100 easier than they will $4.99. So thus we have different products at different levels, and we link them, if that's what you're saying. I don't know about the linking in terms of in terms of the actual link between websites. But another thing that you bring up a good point here, Doc, is that each product has its own separate URL, meaning domain name. Now, that doesn't mean that those products can't be found. Like, for example, in Bill's case, what we're doing is we have every one of his products is going to sit at, voice over every one of his membership-oriented products where people have a key to get in through membership site software. So it'll be that / XYZ blah blah blah. Each one of them will be sitting there, the membership sites are, but we'll also have a separate, Bill Deweese, XYZ, whatever we call it, xyz.com, which forwards this domain will forward to this URL, and when they get there, they will not be able to access the page because it's a protected page, and it has, a username and password that you only get if you've paid your $27, $47, $99, $97, whatever it is. So we'll have a separate URL for each one. Okay, yes. Leslie says or asks, do you think that people are really using the phones for connecting with these products now? They're using their phones for connecting with these products. I don't really know. You'll have to help me on that question, Leslie. Using their phones for connecting with these products now. I don't think so, but I'm not asking that. Let me see. I'm not really sure I understand the question. Leslie, people are ordering these products that are created online, their audio products. Mitch, thank you. Yes. Can I find someone to take my content, finished, some needing some editing and reformatting the way in ebook properties on Kindle? Yes. So Mitch is asking, can he take information in his content and find someone to do the editing and reformatting for him? Usually those are two separate groups, Mitch. So the one group, so he's asking, let me just put this up here and put a bunch of spaces so we can give Mitch his answer here. Okay, so Mitch is asking, take your content, and turn it into stuff. In this case, Kindle, ebooks, etc., etc. And the answer is yes. But usually, you're talking about two separate things. Editing is one person, and formatting is definitely another person. Now, the editing work is, there are a few people that I know that do this, some of whom I recommend, some of whom are flaky, some of whom it's one of those things where, but this person is almost always a different person than this person that does the formatting. Now, what can you expect to spend for this person here? If you get an editor, probably somewhere between an absolute low of 15 bucks per hour to a high of, 75 per hour is what you're looking at for the editing. And for the formatting, this is like, there's this guy Joshua Talent, whose name I threw out earlier. Joshua Talent, who's got a site, I think his site is ebookformatting.com. Let me just check that. ebookformatting.com, I think that's his. I may have spelled formatting wrong. Let's just see if that comes up. Let's see here. Oh, this internet connection here at Bill's is pretty fast, but I don't know what's going on here. So I'm not going to waste your time with that, Mitch. But you can do it yourself. But if you Google this name, Joshua Talent, and then put after that, let's put it in. I'll show you in Google. If I go to Joshua Talent ebook formatting, evidently I didn't have the URL correctly. So if we put in Joshua Talent ebook formatting, Kindle formatting is his thing. So that's Joshua's site. Now you're looking at, this guy is really sort of the knowledgeable expert in the industry. So Mitch, if you're like me and you want to save some money, may not be the guy. Shopping with their smartphones. Yeah, they can. So Leslie's clarification is shopping with their smartphones. I don't care if they're shopping with their smartphones or shopping on their computer. It's the same thing. They're gonna come to an order link online. Yeah, I don't really care if they're buying with their smartphones or not. I'm not tracking it because, frankly, I don't really care if they're doing it with their phone or with their computer. Irrelevant to me. Just as long as they're spending money and giving me and Bill money. So yeah, it is Kindle formatting. Got that, Mitch. So here we go. That's some of those questions answered. So you're looking at editing being one person, formatting being another person. By the way, our good friends at Fiverr.com is cheap. Now, quality is a question mark. But Fiverr.com, so if we went into Fiverr and put in there, so let's go to Fiverr.com and let's look this up, Mitch. So say we wanted somebody to do Kindle formatting for us. We'd go to this, we put in Kindle formatting, and let's see what comes up here, if anything at all. So I will convert your Word doc into Kindle formatting for the Kindle ebook. I will do Kindle conversion. There's a bunch of them here. So is it worth throwing $5 at somebody, Mitch? I think so. Editing, let's see, let's talk about editing. What did you want edited, Mitch? I would take it, you want written material, so editing. Tell me, Mitch, what it is you want. Editing my audio material. Let's see what that is. So it's going to be, the keyword there is going to be editing, and let's see, I'm sure you're going to get a ton of people there. I will, this is probably not what, this is not good. This is not the right stuff. But I'd start with Fiverr only because your risk in terms of dollars is so low. Quality, questionable. I mean, you can buy multiple $5 elements. I just did this, by the way. Here's a good one. I did a deal where I wanted to try some people who are doing audio transcripts. And audio transcripts, generally have run on the low side of $30 per hour. That's low. To the high side as much as $75 per hour. And you can find people audio transcription. Now again, remember they price it so it can be $5. So watch what happens here because I found a few different people. So you'll find people from the Philippines, from wherever. Look at this. I'll transcribe 20 minutes for, and I think this is the gal I used, perhaps. So 20 minutes for $5. Now, if you take that into an hourly rate, she's talking about 60 minutes, which is 1 hour, for $15. Cheap, cheap, cheap. So I would go to Fiverr.com for anything first, Mitch. And then I would, yeah, you're welcome. Mitch just said thank you. So I would start at Fiverr.com for all of your needs, whatever they are. Again, I'm not guaranteeing quality, but I am guaranteeing you get some darn good pricing. Because look at this. I will transcribe your audio files, up to 20 minutes in length for $5. So you multiply that by 3, that's $15 for an hour's worth of material. That's pretty darn good. So that would be something that I would head you towards. And any other questions? If not, that's a good place to stop. Again, it's about 45 minutes, right on 45 minutes. Again, we do these every week. Spread the word, tell your friends, and I appreciate all of you being here. Hopefully we'll have some JV partners who aren't working, but then again, I don't mind them working because they're making us money. Okay, so thank you very much for being here. We'll see you all next time. Tell your friends, tell your family.